morning there. You're watching QTV This Morning, and I am Jennifer Sonko, joined by my amazing co-host Ibrahim Balde here, as well as Mr. Ade Durami joining us to help us analyze some of the stories that we have on the papers. So yeah, let's just start with me. My weekend was good because I took 2 days off from Friday to Saturday, and I decided to go glow up. Am I not glowing?
You're absolutely glowing.
I'm glowing right now. I decided to go glow up.
Glowing.
But did you glow up? Did you try to like glow up maybe?
If you can see, I'm looking very good. I mean, I spent all my weekend near my wife. This weekend, I said to her, look, madam, she said to me, yes. I said, this weekend, I'm going nowhere. I'm spending the weekend beside you.
That's why you look so radiant.
I spent all my weekend near her, so excellent. I am, as you know, look at me. Baby, look at me.
I can see you, and you're looking all good. So, Mr. Ade, please don't tell me you were busy editing stories. I don't want to hear that.
No, I wasn't. Although people did contact me on Sunday, which was my day off. To do with work, but no. But the curious thing was I took a photograph upstairs and I posted it just to change my profile picture, and I was amazed at the reaction to it. It was, 270.
But you know it looks cute, right?
Yeah, that's why I posted it, I guess. But I was surprised at the reaction because all I did was just change my profile picture. But and it was taken next to Mariama's desk at the reception. And
I saw it. I mean,
big up to Buff Balde. Buff Balde is the man who takes all the credit.
How do you stay young? Like, what do you do to stay young? Like,
I stay young by not worrying about anything.
Okay.
That's it.
You just no stress.
No stress.
Sleep like a baby.
I don't believe in stress. Yeah, stress ages you.
It does. It does. But
although stress is part, stress is part of everyday life. I mean, you should
managing.
You know, people are different in managing stress. Some people, stress is an everyday thing, but it's just a matter of how you handle it. Some people they go down emotionally.
And stress can beat them down.
Exactly.
That's something I never allow.
Well, to be honest, I'm working on it. Trying to, but it's hard. Because it's with different people how they deal with it.
Sure.
It's hard for certain people to deal with it. And also it depends on the degree of stress we're talking about.
Sure.
Not every little thing, but there are certain stresses that can actually damage individuals.
That's why in our news team we have the phrase, nobody died, because something can happen, it's a disaster, everybody's screaming and shouting. Yeah. And you just said, okay, it's bad.
Nobody died.
Nobody died.
Nobody died.
Yeah, he's actually used that on me on situations where I was so panicked and I thought someone was like where I felt like I messed up. Yeah. But the moment he says that, you're like, I'm calm.
People make mistakes. I mean, I sit here and every morning, because I still have a link with the BBC, I go down their website and I send them, like, some of them are serious mistakes on their website, and that's the BBC. Some of them could get people into trouble if they weren't fixed, and I just send a message quietly to them saying, look, check this URL. There's a really serious mistake. Sometimes it's a mistake of fact. Yeah. Sometimes it's just spelling or something. But, I just send them to that, and just, it's like, But otherwise people stress over stuff like that. Is it going to cost me my job? So, don't let it.
Yeah, have a stress-free week. We're praying that you have a stress-free week.
Amen.
I know the Tobaski is here. It might be difficult.
That's
stress-free.
Something that can stress people out.
But for me,
not Balde though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Because he goes in the morning of the day to get his round.
You see, I'm not stressed.
And that's how to deal with stress.
I'm not stressed.
Hard. But did you identify your RAM, right? Yes, no? We go with the proverb, yes,
not yet. I'll identify my RAM maybe a day before Tobaski. And Tobaski day I'll go buy it.
You will go buy it.
Half the price.
And just very quickly, in Cape Verde, they have like an official country motto. Yeah. But the unofficial motto of Cape Verde is no stress.
No stress.
You see it everywhere on the walls. People wear it in a bandage on their T-shirts. No stress. No stress.
Exactly.
And when you go there, you feel no stress.
Looking forward to a stress-free week then.
Yes, indeed.
Hopefully. So what's our African proverb, Ibrahim?
The African proverb is about family ties. I mean, it says a family tie is like a tree. Okay. It can bend, but it cannot break.
We've done this before.
I think we have, and it's a very popular one in Sierra Leone. In Creole, they say "Famble tick they bend, but they broke." And essentially, it means that And I have to say also that it is definitely an African thing, because when you go to Europe, I'm sure there are Europeans watching this. I lived in Europe long enough to know the kind of attachment that we have to family, they don't. In Africa, it goes to the extent where people put family above country, above nation, anytime. So, you know, and that kind of is one of the things which is both good and bad, because it has kind of held us back. You know, somebody gets to a position of power, and because of family ties, he ends up giving all his relatives jobs, even when they're not suited for those jobs. And so, you know, the country can sort of suffer for it. But this thing about family ties being very, very strong, it's very much an African thing. And it's true. I mean, you know, I have a younger brother who really, the things he did, I should have killed him years ago. But, you know, he's still my younger brother. And you know. So
for me, I do not have a problem with strong ties within a family existing, but the notion about it, the African notion that's attached to it, is wrong.
We take it too far.
We take it too far.
And I'll tell you.
And also, it's harming certain people. In Gambia here, you will see an individual sitting home. You have the power. You can go and do something, but just because your brother is in America, you feel that that particular individual, because it's your blood, that person is supposed to take care of you.
Let me tell
a mature individual, for that matter, just because it's your brother.
That's it. No, it's true. Let me tell you a shocking one. A friend of mine, and I hope she'll forgive me, I won't mention names.
Okay.
But she's Sierra Leonean, and she was raped by her uncle, her dad's brother. And because she went to the police, her own father now doesn't speak to her. So instead of defending his daughter, who'd been raped by his own brother, it's the daughter that he's not speaking to, saying she has brought shame on the family, not the guy who did. I mean, that's how ridiculous we can say.
Well, another scenario before I forget, Ibrahim, is this was this had to do with marriage. So the you know, it's in a Muslim community. So the daughter decided to take the dad to the Qadi court because the dad refused her to marry someone Muslim, and you know, it was based on caste system. So the child, you know, turned and took the dad to the Qadi court. I support that 100%. It's not something illegitimate. It's, as long as it's legitimate, even though it's family, it's okay. You know, so I feel like as Africans, we're taking it to a level where, you know, even to live with each other, some people will say, oh, we all have to live together.
And we don't.
You don't have to live together. People need their privacy. Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's a matter of ignorance. I mean, maybe the father not speaking to the daughter. Maybe the father doesn't understand these things.
This is a man who has a PhD, by the way. He's a lecturer, the father. So I don't know what you think he might not understand about this. What is there not to understand?
Then he might be stupid. Then.
No, it's not stupid. It's
because
they pay.
If he went to that level of, I mean, education, but still not talking to the daughter.
It's because they put a great store on family ties. They somehow think that if the brother ends up going to jail, it's a disgrace to the family. No, the disgrace to the family is what he did. That is the disgrace.
But I'll tell you something. There are people with PhD, masters. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have masters or you have
but
PhD.
In the scenario I'm talking about,
a PhD holder is expected to act
exactly. That's why I said sometimes getting a PhD and behaving otherwise, I mean, it doesn't synchronize your education.
I know, I'm saying, but for you to say that he might not understand.
He understood.
I thought, let me put it in context. They're a family of high achievers, all of them, including my friend who's now actually herself studying for a PhD. And so, you know, they're a high achieving family. They're not, you know, definitely he understands the concept of what happened, but he just feels that he should protect the family name and the family honor, which is kind of shocking. And it's caused my friend great harm.
We have never shamed our family for the past 100 years.
And now you want to shame our family.
We are very honored in this community. You know, we'll take a break.
Let the family go to shame, but, you know, let justice prevail at the end of the day. That's the most important thing. So we will just go for a short break now, and when we come back, we'll head right on to the newspaper review. Mr. Adedrami is already here, and also we will have a phone call with Babukar Sise from Mecca. Hopefully we'll be able to connect with him to give us an update as to, you know, the Hajj has started, and give us an update as to what is happening down there. Yes, Al-Haji Babukar Sise. And on Community Watch today, we'll have live updates from the Banjul market as to Tobaski preparations. And on our social issue today, President of the Livestock Association, Ibrahima Jallo, will be joining us here to take a look at the availability of livestock during Tobaski. We know that the border between Senegal and Mali was closed at some point, but now open to allow livestock to actually move from there.
Because the Malians are being quite strict about not opening the border.
We'll see. Yeah, so yeah, this is what we have today. And finally, Click segment, we'll get to have some entertainment just to digest everything at the end of everything. So we'll be right back.
Check out the all-new Tigo 8 at S-Pass Motors. Call 3522-222 or 353-2222 for more information.
Welcome back from that short break. If we're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. Yes, so catch us up on Facebook or on YouTube if you've missed anything.
Indeed.
Or if you sleep late, get to join us 12 a.m. to just, you know, catch up on everything discussed here. So, yeah, so I have the point here, and that's the Fourier. What's the Fourier saying?
Yes, I mean, some of the headlines of the point is members of the Association of Public Health Officers and sit-down strike. MDI bemoans acute classroom shortage, and of course, lawyer makes no case to answer submission in GAM Petroleum economic crime case. Police, Pan-African Parliament elects Bureau President for Vice President. And of course, the editorial Rising Lumumba Spirit from Oblivion. Yes.
All right, moving on. Public health officers say no threat, intimidation can dictate their decision. And also JFF Electoral Committee assures free, fair election. And here we have that the GFRS condemns attack on its fire officers in Joshuang, and also the Kanifing Municipal Council and the ward councillor for Joshuang ward also was out to do a press release to also condemn this particular situation there in Joshuang. And also international monetary institutions commend GRA for strong performance. And Solo Bojang others to help government identify sites. Yeah, I think that's all we have. Yeah.
So which one do you want to kick off with?
Yeah, so I think we should talk about, first of all, Mr. Ade, I think it's important that we talk about Abu Jangha. You know,
Indeed.
Yeah, we have been following up on his story. I know Mamadou Lamin Choi is sad, considering that he did an extensive report on him, and you know, it actually was quite educative. So we're sending some love and light to the family.
Indeed.
And the whole country at large.
I think our condolences have to go out to the family. This gentleman was 102, for those who don't know, World War II veteran.
Yes.
He was, as we said in the office, the last man standing. Because of all those Gambians who served in the Second World War, he was the only one still alive. Yeah. And in fact, one of the few still alive anywhere in the world. So, you know, it's not just a Gambian thing. But also what was remarkable about him is that up to that time, he was still working as a jeweler. And as you mentioned, one of the stories that Choi did, you know, raised enough of awareness about it that, you know, the army then facilitated that he got a Mercedes-Benz given to him to actually drive him around. So, yes, even though he reached what we would call a fantastic age, there's still a sense of sadness about his passing. Yeah. And so the funeral was on Saturday, and the military were there. There was an infantry battalion, I think. They were there, and they gave him a very kind of fitting send-off, and certainly in military style. And a lot of people turned up as well. Yeah. So yes, the end of an era, for sure.
Like,
Well, I think, I mean, this is a lesson to the whole country. I think Abu Jangha lately, people got to realize who he was. I mean, I think it's important for us to start celebrating our people when they are alive. Although people tried lately,
it's a brilliant
so
word.
it's important. I've seen a whole lot of comments on Facebook about the manner and the way, I mean, help came lately. I mean, I think it should have it should have been earlier.
Much earlier.
Yeah, so it's important for us to notice those that have done wonders for this country and celebrate them when they're alive.
Yeah, I think he should have died without any form of trouble or without any form of worry as to the family that he's leaving behind.
Sure.
So I just hope and pray that support that he could not get early will filter down to his family, at least no matter what. Because at that age, 102, he was still going to work at his metal workshop to ensure
jewelry.
he continues to feed his family.
That's right.
Which is quite shame.
Yeah.
So I think you mentioned it, that we should celebrate individuals who have created some form of impact. And when it comes to that, Gambia is not even halfway there, because we've seen stories as such in music, in other areas where these are individuals that are even celebrated outside of the country more than in Gambia here.
Sure.
And then when they die, we all carry.
Well, if you look at the scenario of one Biri Biri.
Exactly.
I mean, I can remember there was a time, I mean, someone said to me, my brother, I was surprised when Biri Biri came to the stadium and he wanted to enter and watch a game. He was stopped by the security at the main gate. I mean, he said, I am Biri Biri. They don't know who Biri Biri is. So after they have to usher him out.
And this is a man in Spain. He can't even walk down the street without people wanting to shake him.
How embarrassing that thing is.
That was embarrassing. And what's even more embarrassing, I saw him do a whole video which was making rounds on social media where he's talking about how sometimes they don't even respect him enough to invite him as a special guest when we have games. So he also died feeling that his country does not respect him. And it's continuing. I don't know where we're heading to.
This is a man who in Spain is a legend. And
definitely. And I was surprised to see some of his videos in Spain where, I mean, a whole stadium will get up and celebrate this guy.
And
can you imagine if
they
know Biri Biri is landing today? I mean, everybody will go to the airport and receive him.
That's it.
And Gambia, we don't even notice.
And you're right. And I guess Abu Jangha's passing actually is a kind of wake-up call to us, as you say. Let us celebrate people when they are alive and not wait till they're dead.
People like Balde, I am here.
We say nice things about them,
Anyway,
all right.
so
we have a few
on,
minutes to go.
have that the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service here is condemning attack on its fire officers in New Joshua.
Yeah, we went to that.
Yes, and also there was this press conference.
Which we attended.
Yes, so do you think then they should be accompanied when they're going to, I don't know, because people are so disgruntled, maybe they should be accompanied by...
Well, you obviously didn't watch the Weekend Review, because we mentioned that story in the Weekend Review, and what I said was that even in England this happens, and I've never understood why people stone a fire engine or a fire truck. I have never understood, I never will. In this New Joshua incident, it is alleged that they were angry because the fire truck turned up late. And according to the fire service, the one that was nearest to them was dealing with another fire somewhere else. So they had to get a fire engine from somewhere else to come and attend. Of course, by the time it came, the damage was extensive. And they were angry about this, but they didn't even wait for any kind of explanation. As soon as they got there, they started stoning, and 2 of the men were injured, or firemen were injured and had to be taken to hospital. It's unforgivable and totally unacceptable, and it has to stop.
Well, I mean, you see, that connects to what Jenaba, I always have issues when Jenaba say, I mean, the security should control themselves. I mean, yes, that's true. They should control themselves. But no, I know. But I'm just trying to take an example. The people should control themselves too. They should behave. It's not the fault of the fire service. This is not their fault. I mean, they've tried all their means to get to the destination. I mean, to put the fire off. I mean, I think people should also behave. Yeah,
but like you said, this happens globally. These are individuals hungry for change.
In England, I've never understood why.
These are individuals hungry for change. These are individuals hungry for a problem to be solved, and it's a normal behavioral thing.
But
because these are human beings.
What about if you if you destroy the fire engines we have, and in Gambia we barely have them.
And these were a gift from Avon Fire Service in England.
Yes. So if you destroy the one we have, what about if there is another fire? I mean, what are we going to do?
But not only that, if we go back to Avon County in England and we say to them, oh, our fire truck was destroyed, and you say, oh, can we have another one? And they say, oh, how was it destroyed? After all, we used it for 10 years and it was fine. And then you say, oh, some youth stoned it and they broke the glass, they broke this, they broke that. They're not going to give us any more. Yeah. And they're not stupid. They can read stuff on the internet and they can see that, oh, these people really don't appreciate what we've given them.
So is that, is that not taking our development behind?
That is true. We all have our responsibilities. That is true. That is true. We have a responsibility.
It's really delaying us. So
yeah. So before we have Mr. Sise on the line, while they're trying to connect with him, I think we should also talk about the GFF Electoral Committee assuring a free, fair election. So the GFF, in few months...
Gambia Football Federation, for anybody who doesn't know what GFF is. Yeah, Gambia Football Federation,
in few months will be having their election. So generally, what's your take on developments?
Yeah, I mean, you've got the person who's the head, Kababajo. He's going for re-election. Yes, and then he has somebody who's sort of challenging him for it. And there's been a lot of criticism. People are saying that, you know, things need to be done better, be more transparent and so on. And that's why this comes up, because you've got people who belong to, I think one chap is like Secretary General or something. And it was our colleague, Gajaga, who asked the question about, you know, is there not a kind of conflict of interest? And they say, no, 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 there's not. And that, you know, the person was saying, I don't even vote. And I'm intrigued as to what the vote is. Is it a secret ballot? And if it is, then it should be. If it isn't, then it should be. And if it is, then that's fine. But, you know, people will always be disgruntled and so on. And, you know, what tends to happen in African organizations like the GFF is the same thing that happens in lots of governments around Africa, where people get in and they stay in and they want to stay in forever. And they never want to, you know, give up a post for anybody else. So, but, you know, it's good if you get a kind of a serious challenger, then that's good for the democracy of the GFF itself. I'm
aware that the voting is only associations, like basketball stuff.
Well,
so do you think it should be more diverse? You know, it should go beyond just having some associations.
The rules are the rules. And so in order for it to pass, and what they were saying is that how we vote and how we constitute the electoral board is in line with FIFA regulations.
Oh, okay.
So FIFA is football, you know, and it has to be people who have some knowledge of football.
About the dynamics.
Exactly, of running it and so on, not just the public.
No, I'm not talking about the public, but I'm talking about a wider, because I was having a conversation with a coach who actually said to me, oh, the voting to me, it's a bit restricted. You know, it's just the associations and it should go beyond that.
Well, it depends on how wide they want it to go. They could always, you know, whoever comes in could change the constitution if if they think that will give it more, if it's going to be beneficial, if it gives it a bit more democracy and a bit more transparency. Then, I mean, I've seen some of the criticism of some of the things that they posted, a toilet that was supposedly constructed for $1.5 million.
That's a joke. And now
so I even joked to say that perhaps we need to go inside the toilet and see the gold taps and the gold sinks, because on the face of it, that doesn't look like a 1.5 million. People build houses for that kind of money rather than just a toilet. So there are questions there.
In fact, why do we need a toilet for 1.5 million?
I think you'd have to ask the people who built the toilet for 1.5 million.
I think, Mr. Ade, as a country, we have problems when it comes to procurement. You know, we talk about corruption as in government, fine, it's in it as well. But procurement, it's just, even in a private sector,
it's one of the
biggest.
It's
a disease. I can even say it's a pandemic.
Yeah, for real.
In Africa, it is a pandemic because of the way these people inflate some of these things, using taxpayers' money to build your own houses, get your own luxury.
Lots and lots of people in Gambia and in Sierra Leone have become millionaires, but just by being middlemen in procurement.
It's the procurement, because of the kickbacks that you get. So at the end of the day, I think there should be more regulations put in place when it comes to procurement measures. You come up with your invoice, you tender whatever comes out, bidding, but do they even go and check? Because at the end of the day, it's hard to also investigate these things because it's about a chain, about the person they're going to buy it from, and the supplier to the producer.
I fell out once with a very, very good friend of mine who is, and this was in England, and they were putting in a tender for something, and he inflated it so that he would make £10,000 from it, and despite the fact that he was already being paid as the consultant to the tender. And I was really disappointed with him because, you know, when we were at university, we were the kind of people who criticized that kind of thing. And now he's doing it.
When you're in the position, it changes you, the money.
That was depressing for me.
Yeah,
you know,
it is. So do we have Mr. Cisse on the line right now?
Well, I think we'll continue.
Yes, he's not there yet.
Before they get to Babukar.
But we've had problems getting through to the line in Saudi.
Yes, let's talk about the members of the Association of Public Health Officers and sit-down strike.
And on the other hand, here they are saying public health officers say no threats or intimidation can dictate their decision.
Yes, and we were discussing this before we came on air, and I was saying that they might have ended the strike. I know people love to say sit-down strike here. Well, it's just strike. This is just a strike. You know, they might have ended the strike, but, you know, it might not be that they were intimidated into ending it.
So basically, that is what even they're trying to put across, because they are expressing their disappointment as to the ministry's counter statement, which actually talks about stopping their salaries.
It's quite threatening.
And, you know, stopping their salaries and actually removing their names from the list if they do not report to work. So I guess they're trying to talk about the fact that this threat did not actually contribute to them ending it instead.
That kind of threat, if you call it, it was quite standard, used to be quite standard in England, again, where if people were going to go on strike, they would say to their employers, take a list of everybody who fails to turn up for work and we will deduct their pay. And some people, they were threatening that it was going to be deducted for quite a while. So that is the kind of thing that makes people sit up and take notice, and perhaps that might be why they've decided to, because they've certainly not ended it because their concerns have been addressed. That's not why they've ended it. So I think whether they say it or not, it might be the threat that worked. So interesting one.
Well, I hope the ministry will look at some of their demands and
what are their grievances?
Positive. Yes, exactly.
What are the grievances?
Well,
what is it they're complaining
Mr. Ade, I think it's not. It should not be this way. I mean, anytime your people sit at home without coming to work, that's the time you start looking at their affairs. I think time to time you need to engage these people, look at some of the difficulties they are facing. I mean, at least to address them.
That is true. I mean, in England they have this thing called arbitration, ACAS, conciliation service, and what they do is they sit down between employer and employee, you know, or employer and union, and they try and work out, you know, if they can come to some sort of agreement. But it doesn't always, you don't always get agreement. I mean, sometimes your positions are so far apart, you can never agree. And that can happen, and sometimes that is what leads to a strike. And so it's no different here.
Well, and of course,
Yes, you have something?
No, it's all right. You can.
So here, it's talking about supporting sustainable growth of the Gambian oyster sector. So a research that has been done shows that there's a decline when it comes to the availability of oysters. And, you know, it's not justifiable, as in...
I can't remember the last time I had oysters much as I like them.
Exactly.
And then
especially the big ones.
Yes.
The ones we have now are so little.
Tiny.
I know the pandemic contributed because there was a whole year where they did not do any sort of oyster production, and when they came, they found them dead. So that actually affected the reproductive chain during the COVID-19.
And recently we had the oil spill.
Yeah, the oil spill as well.
Which damaged one section of where they do the oyster farming. Yeah,
so here with the EU, they're looking at ways to ensure that there's enough stock of oyster and also improve safety of getting the oysters and also reducing the sector's, you know, carbon footprint as well.
Right, okay. You know. I mean, mainly it's women who do the oyster farming in this country, and same in Sierra Leone. And when you see the conditions in which they do it, you're kind of like, what? You're scared for them because, you know, they don't have the proper gloves.
And very risky.
Sort of boots, Wellington boots. So, yeah, and it can be quite risky. In terms of the carbon footprint, I'm not sure what can be done to kind of mitigate or help in that. But I think we welcome anything that will improve safety in the sector, and of course production in the sector.
Yeah, so they actually conducted about 250 interviews with numerous focus group in relation to the availability of oysters. So the report has been presented, and now they have a specific panel where in the next 2 days, according, I don't know, this was on the 29th.
They're going to validate it.
Yes, they're going to kind of sit down and see what to do, but I just hope it's not a document, you know, because these oyster women cannot even read these documents. So it's actually about coming up with the right strategies.
Something practical.
Yeah, learning from other countries. How do other countries ensure that their stock is not declining? What best practices are they using that we can adapt to and actually use them? And also ensure the women stay motivated as well, you know. And these women, the oyster production they're doing, it's not an investment. You know, I've done several stories with them. Whenever I do it, it's about them getting the immediate money
so that they can
feed
it's their livelihood.
School fees. It's their livelihood. So how can they change that into an investment whereby it's not the money they get today, they're going to eat it, but it's about buying other materials to ensure that there's some form of improvement. That's what we're looking for.
And I think that's where sustainability comes in.
Sure,
for sure.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Adi Durami, for joining us on the newspaper review.
We weren't able to get Babuka then?
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm looking forward to him giving us all the updates. Alaji Babuka Sise. You know, stay strong, okay? Stay strong. Don't sweat. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Yeah, so now we will go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by the president of the Livestock Owners Association, Ibrahim Jallo, to talk about the Tobaski, you know, the availability of livestock. We'll be right back.
Your favorite QCell service has gotten bigger. Kanta. Now you can loan bigger credit amounts to make life easier for you. Loan $75 and $100 and pay later. Yes, you heard me right. Get credit loan from $10 to $100 using Kanta by dialing *393#. Anytime you run out of credit, whether you want to buy Q Power, browse the internet, make urgent calls, or send SMS. Kanta is the service for you. Dial *393# and choose the loan amount of your choice with no hassle. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus, the pioneers of mobile loan service in the Gambia. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
to build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
Light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
with ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. We apologize. I later on introduced that Babukar Sise will be joining us from Mecca to actually update us in relation to the happenings when it comes to the Hajj. But unfortunately, we're yet to be able to connect with him. The moment we do, we will serve you with all of the updates. So now quickly, we're just going to jump onto the social issue where here we are joined by members of the Livestock Owners Association, and we'll be talking about the availability of livestock when it comes to the Tobaski. And you're all aware that the border between Senegal and Mali was closed at some point but now open. How is that going to ensure that there's easy access at this point? Although we have limited time, we have a few days to Tobaski, but they know what they're going through, so they will get to inform us accordingly. Thank you so much, Mr. Jallo, for joining us on the program. And you are, what's your name?
Musa Njai.
Musa Njai, Mr. Musa Njai and Mr. Ibrahim Jallo. So first of all, you know, let's start with the availability this year of livestock ahead of the Tobaski? You know, how available, what is the option, what is the range of options that individuals have in the country currently?
Thank you very much, QTV.
Yeah.
And then thank you for inviting us here too. When we talk about the availability of rams this year into the Gambia, it's too early to predict. But now we can predict now the availability, because yesterday we went around, but it's not as it used to be compared to years back. By this time of this year, at least 10 days before Tobaski, you will find that at least our Abuko sailing ground is full of rams. But still now, up to this morning today, there are not enough rams as expected. But we're hoping animals are coming gradually. And now that the border have opened, I think that at least things will come. But it's not going to be as we are expecting or perceiving it to be. Because even they opened the border like yesterday or day before yesterday, it will take this dealer time to move up to Mali or around Senegal to go and try to gather these animals and try to transport them. So there's a lot of movement up and down. So we don't expect the border to open yesterday and then today people are in Mali and buy these animals and they are here. But we hope that the dealers and then the herders, because there are two types of animal dealing in this country. The dealers of the Gambia used to go and buy animals and bring them to the Gambia. Then we have the herders themselves will just, you know, move with their animals, come and then put them into these long trucks and bring them to the Gambia for sale. But now we are expecting a lot of these herders will come from Mali or to Senegal, and then they will bring their animals into this country. If not, there may be a shortage of animals in this
so
country.
what is the National Livestock Owners Association? What have you done about this thing to make sure you facilitate the smooth movement of these rams to the country?
Thank you very much, Mr. Bande. When it comes to the National Livestock Owners, NALUA, we work, collaborate with the Gambia Livestock Marketing Agency. In the past, we used to have a meeting at the Ministry of Trade. During that meeting, all stakeholders are invited, like the Gambia Immigration, Port Authority, the Custom Exercise, and all the municipality. And when we talk about the municipality, that's KMC, Banjul, and Brikama. They will all come together, the Transport Union, because all these people are involved in the sector. And then we'll sit down and then we see exactly, we form strategies and look for the way so that these people can come to this country in a very smooth way. But unfortunately this year, we couldn't have it done. The agency wrote to the Ministry of Trade, and then we personally visited the Ministry of Trade, and we understand there is no specific minister at the Ministry of Trade. I think the Minister of Finance is overseeing the Ministry of Trade. But then our claim was there are people in the ministry. If the minister is not there, the PS and other people are there. They could have at least liaised with the agency and the NALUA so that we can discuss. Because there is no trade that is bigger than the Tobaski ram sale when it comes to trade in the Gambia. Because during these 10 days, every home in the Gambia, especially the Muslim, want to get something to their home. And everybody's involved. So to rush, it's not when it's time for Tobaski, people sit down and discuss about the way forward. The government of the Gambia could have sit with the farmers long ago, and then we know that we don't have much of this animal available into this country. Most of the animals, 70% of these animals that we are using are coming from outside the Gambia. So what strategy can we use, like Senegal is doing? How are we going to get these animals available into this country? So to us, like, there should be a consultation, an earlier consultation than sitting up at the last minute, and then we start thinking about that. If you don't have much, or the demand, you don't have much thing in you, and you have to go and get it outside, sometimes it's better you start preparing earlier so that we can start to work. The other thing that we used to do, because we know our dealers, the dealer is here, the head of the dealers, Musa Njai, our dealers are not much. They cannot meet the demand of the Gambian people.
Yeah, I was going to come to that. Anyway, because we are talking about trying to ensure there are earlier consultations, but that has to go side by side with capacity, you know, the capacity for us to be able to handle it. And if we cannot, what can be done prior? What specific strategies are you suggesting that can be done to ensure that come the few years, you know, gradually we'll be able to be independent when it comes to the sale of ram for the purpose of Tobaski?
Jainab, you see, when you talk about Tobaski, the demand of ram is very huge for the past years. I think the government of the Gambia, not only the dealers or the association level, should also have it in mind that what are we going to do coming by February or by mid-year. Because every year Senegal used to bring their animals and Mali. How many millions are we losing? not the farmers now, but it's the Gambian people losing that. How many of our youths, how many of our women, how many of Gambians are involved into the production? So meaning there is a need to go into more livestock productions into this country, especially into small ruminant. Though we have the small ruminant project, but I think it's 3 years or 2 years old. But still now, that small ruminant project, we'll able to know the impact of that project in the next 3-4 years to come. Because it's too early now to say, yes, the small ruminant project, some of them just get loan within a short time, and then they need to do that productional cycle so that at the end of the day, at least they can serve the market. The other thing we have, I think the small ruminant did very well. That's the microfinance. They were able, the loan that they are giving at this moment, they stopped giving it to the productional cycle. They are able to give it to the dealers and butchers in this country, so that the dealers can go and buy these animals so that they can feed the market.
We have Babukar Sise on the line. He's currently in Saudi. We'll talk to him.
So Mr. Sise, are you there? Alhaji Babukar Sise, are you there?
Yes, General Sonko. Good afternoon from Mecca.
Good morning from the Gambia.
Good morning to you in the Gambia. Yes, I'm here.
Babukar.
I'm well.
Babukar.
Yes, Bande.
No need to queue anymore.
Good morning. I can see your picture. You're looking good. You're looking good, mashallah. So how has it been? You know, I know it's difficult settling in from the first day you arrived and all of that. And before even that, we were aware that, you know, there was a delay when it comes to the second flight, and they made it safely at the end. So, you know, how are they settling in? Did that affect, you know, the whole process as well? I want to know.
No, it doesn't affect. In a sense, it's because normally the first point of, you know, meeting, or the first point that all pilgrims will come to, you know, from Gambia. I don't know about other countries, but it's actually Medina. And Medina is kind of like tourism. It's worshiping God. You can't call it tourism, but it's just visiting historical sites like, you know, the Prophet graves, the Prophet grave, and that of his companions, wives, and all the other Sahabas, and some people who are historically important in the religion of Islam. So that's the thing. So all these people who were delayed, they finally made it to Medina, and there was no problem. They were able to carry out all those rituals. But then what happened is, as I speak to you now, all the Gambian pilgrims are now in Mecca, because now we've done with Medina, and then Hajj is just a few days away. It will start on the 7th, which is the 8th Hijjah in the Islamic calendar. So yesterday we left Medina to Mecca. It's a long distance. We left Medina at 4 p.m. and we got to Mecca at 1 p.m. So obviously you can see it's like 9 hours journey. So it's by bus, actually, so it's far. And there is traffic because there's a lot of people coming. There's a lot of traffic. Everybody is getting to Mecca to prepare for the 5 days of Hajj. So that's what happened. And when we arrived, what we did was, the first thing that Gambian pilgrims did with Tiwawan Travel and Tours is that we went to the Kaaba to do the first tawaf. You know, we did that yesterday. Imagine from Mecca, 4 o'clock, you come, you didn't have a proper sleep, 9 hours journey, and then you have to go to the Kaaba and do your first tawaf, and you go to Safa and Marwa also to do the running between the two hills. So this is done because it's like when you go to a village, you normally go as a visitor or a stranger. You go to the Alcalo first and say, well, Alcalo, I'm here, come to your village, so that he can be aware of your presence. So this is what we've done yesterday. It's called Tawaful Qudum. So we went to the Kaaba to tell the Kaaba that we are here, we pilgrims, we've come to say hi to you. We are from the Gambia and we come to perform Hajj. So it's called Tawaful Qudum. Everybody does that. When you come, you go and tell the Kaaba that you are around. So that's what we did. And also in that thing, you have to go around the Kaaba 7 times again, you know, anti-clockwise, and then from there you have to go to Safa and Marwa, you know, to do what Hajira has done, you know, when she was looking for water. So we've done all that last night, and then the time we got back to our hotel, it's like in the morning at 7 o'clock.
Amazing.
So can you imagine? There was no sleep, you know, but everybody has to do that. So that's what's happening here at Geneva.
Yes, so just to, well, so and again, I want you to give us an update I want you to give us an update in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic, because we're, you know, it's the new normal, and at some point, Hajj, you know, was paused for a while because of the COVID-19, you know, something big. So what has changed? How is the situation there, considering that, you know, you've been to Mecca before pre-COVID-19, and you are there now post-COVID-19. So what can you tell me as to changes? What has changed from when you've been there and now?
Well, when it comes to COVID-19, you know it affects the whole world. So the first change happened in the Gambia from over 2,000 pilgrims to 905. So it's a limited quota. But then again, we came to Mecca or Saudi. It's the same thing. All the other countries, they are given limited quota because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But then, still now, it's crowded. It's not crowded like when I came here in 2019, because that was over 2 million people. But this time, according to authorities, it's just 1 million. So it's not overcrowded. But anytime they say Salat, the Prophet Muhammad's mosque, Masjid al-Nabawi, is full to the brim. So even though the quota has been limited. But then also, when it comes to COVID-19, the protocols are there. You know, but they don't enforce it at the masjid in Medina and also in Mecca. Even as we circumambulate around the Kaaba, it's not enforced. It's like, I think they are satisfied. The Saudi authorities are satisfied with
vaccinations,
and they know it's not a lot of people like before. So they don't tell you, oh, wear your mask or you won't go around the Kaaba, or wear your mask or you won't enter the masjid. No. So it's not compulsory. So if you want, you put it on. If you want, you don't. It's up to you now, because they know everybody has taken the injection, and then also people have done the test before they leave their various countries 72 hours before leaving. So I think they are satisfied that people have followed those protocols, and in that aspect, they are not bothering anyone about wearing face mask or social distancing. But although it is written everywhere, social distancing, wear your face mask, the advice is still there. But it's like when you don't do it, they don't come to you and say, do it now.
Yeah. So, and again, at a personal level, before we leave you, how does it feel? This is the second time that you are, you know, going for Hajj. You know, you've been there before in 2019, and now in 2022, you are there. What is the feeling? Is it something that someone can get enough of? That's what I want to bring out from you.
Well, to be honest, I met people here who have been coming here for 40 years. Every year, consecutive. So obviously, the feeling is always different. Once you enter here, the first feeling you have, I know God is everywhere, but then once you enter in Saudi Arabia, the first feeling that gets into you is that God is really here with me. You have that feeling. Probably it's because of the spiritual journey, or because of, you know, your the way we are thinking. But then, to be honest with you, you know, the feeling is always different. Anytime you come here, you get emotional, you get a different kind of feeling, and it's like a new thing at all times. Although you know the procedures and the rituals you have to do for Geneva is very, very interesting and fascinating, and definitely this journey of a lifetime is worth exploring. I think every Muslim should try and come. Well, they said they call the names. So if you are called, I hope every Muslim would come, inshallah.
Yeah, so I can see the Zamzam there. Had a taste of it already. The Zamzam had a taste of it. Put it on your, you know, put it around the body and everywhere already.
I know you told me I should bring Zamzam.
Suma Zamzam,
but also, Zamzam, you know, we all know the history of Zamzam. It's really a blessed water, and the way miraculously the way it happened, we all know the story. But then Zamzam is very, very respected and it's sacred. It's in Medina. They transport it all the way from Mecca to Medina, so that they put it in Masjid al-Nabawi, which is the Prophet's mosque, where his grave is. And then people will drink it at all times. And then here in Mecca also is the same thing. Once you go, you do the tawaf, which is go around the Kaaba 7 times. The next step is to go Safa and Marwa. And after Safa and Marwa, you go, when you do your first round, you go and drink the Zamzam water. Before drinking the Zamzam, you'll put it in a cup, and then you will fast in it. That means you will say all the things you want to, you want God, to do for you. Then once you do all that, and then you will drink the Zamzam, and you can rub some around your body. I saw some with full cups and they are pouring it in their, on their heads,
right.
you know. So all the Gambians there with Crown Travel were excited, you know, for the first time, because for the first time that, you know, this is the real Zamzam is everywhere and it's all original, but this is from the well itself, from the source. So once you open the tap, it's from the well.
Yeah,
so
and we had a conversation.
You can see how people want to drink.
Yeah, and me and you had a conversation about how, you know, people sell it sometimes and you can't tell if it's real or not, but, you know, just having it there is the most important thing. So quickly, what is happening tomorrow, inshallah? Just quickly brief us as to the next 2 days, what is happening.
Well, but the next few days is to relax, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because, I mean, people have been going out and about and then visiting historical places like Medina, and then it's tiring. It's what is for tiring. And then we are in Mecca, Thursday, Tawaf, and everything. And in fact, here at the hotel, most of the people are sleeping. I was even sleeping when Francis called me to wake me up.
Yeah.
So what's happening is, these few days is day of relaxation. So we need energy. We need the zeal and the strength to prepare, you know, for the 5 days of Hajj that is coming. It's really tedious, because, you know, for that 5 days, you'll be going from one place to another, and there's walk as well, up to like 11-kilometer walk, and then you will sleep rough, you know, on the inside tents, and probably sometimes in the open sky, in the floor. So obviously there's a lot of work coming. That's what we are going to do now in the next 5 days. But it will start on Thursday. You know, on the 7th is when everyone who comes for Hajj, the whole 1 million people will go to Mina.
Okay.
And then from Mina, we'll all congregate at Mina, where we call it the city of tents, because everybody will be under the tents. And then from Mina, we'll go to Arafat. Arafat is you don't miss Arafat, because it's actually the day of Hajj, Arafat. Even if you are sick and you can't walk, you are at hospital, normally they'll put you in an ambulance or a wheelchair and bring you to Arafat just to witness the day of Arafat. If you miss that one, you've missed the Hajj. So nobody misses that one. Even those hospitalized will be brought to Arafat just to witness the day. And then from Arafat, we'll move to Muzdalifah. From Muzdalifah, we'll move to, you know, Jamara to stone, you know, the symbolic stoning of the devil.
Right.
So normally that coincides with Tobaski Day. So once you guys are enjoying your ram, your meat and everything,
you're busy.
For us, there is no enjoyment. We are working, and we don't eat the meat. Although that's the day we also slaughter our rams, but we don't. Okay. We don't even see where they are slaughtered. Somebody will store it on your behalf. We have the authorities who will do that for you here. And then later on, they will bring the meat to us as well to enjoy, but that will be like
later,
2 or 3 days after Tobaski.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Cisse. Alhaji Baboucarr Cisse. Lima buga moy. This time so ñep sé Alhaji bi dafa bokk sa tour bi. Lolu duñ ko fi nangu de. Ngay joggé Maka di ñew Gambia Alhaji duñ du bokk sa tour bi pour lan?
No. Now it's 2 times, so it has to be Alhaji.
It has to be Alhaji Baboucarr Cisse.
But I miss the morning show, to be honest with you. I miss the morning. But I've been following the news live. I've been following the morning show. But, you know, you people are doing a great job out there, and we are very proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we are also proud of you, considering the fact that, you know, you did not go with a full team. You are the cameraman, you are the producer, you are the reporter, you are just everything. So we're just sending you some energy back there to keep on giving us all the information we need. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're highly welcome, Jennifer.
All right.
Everybody at the team.
All right, thank you. So we are back here, Ibrahima, discussing the issue of availability of rams, right? And we are joined by officials. We are joined by officials of the Livestock Association here, so quick update. We were just, Ibrahima, talking about, before this call, sorry about that. We were just talking about the issue of how best as a country we can be independent when it comes to the sale of rams, you know, not kind of depending on other countries, but, you know, putting together sustainable structures whereby we'll be able to handle this, you know. Because, you know, it's quite critical, because sometimes we talk about independence, and the need for us to handle certain things on our own. And then when the opportunity is given, the required individuals will not, you know, exploit it and do what is expected. We've seen issues as such. Yes.
Thank you very much, Jennifer, once again. When we talk about the livestock production in the Gambia, especially small ruminants, is left in the hands of the women in this country. And this is why the production level is very low. Now that the small ruminant project is coming, it's time to encourage the youths and other people to go. But if we don't go in for real production of livestock in this country, we'll continue importing livestock production, like rice, like any other thing. It's a big challenge to the livestock producers, especially with the producers. At the beginning, the support was lacking, but now that the support is coming, I think people have to change their attitude. There's a matter of changing attitude, and let everybody be involved in the livestock production. Even you and Mr. Balde, you need to do it at your own backyard. Everybody needs to do something. Because if you look at it now, you'll get your 1/6, you get your salary, you get everything, but still you cannot have a ram. If a ram is costing $15,000, $16,000, $20,000, how many of us are getting that salary in a month?
It's expensive.
Yes, that is why.
So it's important,
we should engage him.
Yes.
Why is ram?
Let's prefer this to the local.
Okay. Wow, uncle, ma bëgg a xam rek. Xam nga gis nañ fi ay xari sax $75,000. Mu nekk lu rëy. So ma bëgg a xam lan nga foog ne fine xam nañ ne am na challenges yu fa nekk. Waaye fooguloo ne ay xar ba ay $75,000 ëpp na. Lan nga foog ne moo waral xar di dem be ay $75,000 $85,000.
ok jërëjëf maa ngi leen di nuyu ñi nga xam ne ñu seetaan ñëpp xar $75,000 loolu dañ ko dee dégg toujours waaye nag am na lu ko waral moo di ne xar jiw yi bokkuñ xar bu ñoo jaay $75,000 boobu beneen façon jiw xar la beneen bi itam àdduna foo gis am na ñoo xam ne ñii lii la ñu bëgg ñii lii la ñu bëgg loolu am na waaye nag li am solo rek mooy naka la ñoo def ba nga xam ne ñu gën a néew am ci Gambia dinañ mun a am tabaski loolu mooy di solution loolu nag ñun di la si luñ bés bu nekk ñu ngi ci def ay jéego suñ jéego mooy ñu ngay dem seet fan la xar gën a yombe fan lañ ko mun a am nga xam ne buñ ko amee ba buñ indee buñ ko jaayee miskini baadoolo dinañ ko mun a jënd ñaareel bi itam ñun ñi nga xam ne tey ñoo amee wàlli livestock bi fii ci Gambie ci wàlli dilasi fuñ munta nekk ñu ngay jokkoo ak ñi nga xam ne ñooy borom jur gi ñi nga xam ne ñoom sàmmkat lañ nekkul ne jur ay sàmmkat lañ di lay encourage pour ñu mun a indi seen jur gi fii ci Gambie nga xam ne mun nañ ko jaay fii te suñ ko jaay dina mun a dina am ci price loolu ñu ngi ci kawam waaye nag lu ñoo def rek mooy Gambian yi il faut ñoom seen boppa ñu taxaw ñu xam ne adduna bi dafay nekk di dox parce que même fu ñu yaakaar Sénégal wala Mali xar lu mu doon jar foofu daaw ak ren soo demee different price nga fa fekk li nga ko mënoon a am daaw Mali wala lu nga ko mënoon a am daaw Sénégal ren di seen amaat boobu boo ko yóbbee doo mun a am façon kar boobu parce que lu ko def mooy adduna baa ngi dox yëpp nga gën a expensive di dem kon nag lu waral mooy ne ñun Gambien ni kenn ku nekk kër bu nekk même su fekkee ne benn xar wala ñaari xar dañ ko war a nekk di ko yar pour ñu mun a mel ni yenn réew yi
waaw léegi oncle man li ma bëgg a xam mooy bu dee kër yi xëj na yar ko xam nga jot amatut
waaw
te yar xar dafa require ne nga seet ko nga toppatoo ko vétérinaire mu ngay péngu ak yooyu soo suñ demee ba nga xam ne nit ñi dëgga munuñ loolu noonu naka lañ mun a ensure ne ñu am mobilize ñi nga xam ne bëgg nañoo dugg si area boobu noonu agriculture comme ñu independent mun a am seen xari booba bi ko yeneen dëkk yi dañ am xar ba nga xam ne dafa doy seen dëkk ba ñu koo indi fii soo yow yan sarta nga foog ne lañ war a tëddal ba nga xam ne ñun tam dinañ mun a aaga foofu noonu
waaw man li ma mun a wax rek mooy dina ndaw ñi surtout maa ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk ci àll ba parce que kenn ku nekk dafa am fi nga war a nekk fi nga xam ne am nañ àll mun nañ sàmm ndaw ña war a jóg pour dugg ci yaram jur dugg ci sàmm parce que ñun fii dañ yaakaar ne fi ñun fii sàmm ku jàngul rek moo ko war a def wala ku ñàkk rek moo ko war a def ñun Gambia loolu mooy nekk suñu xel dañ yaakaar ne sàmm ku jàngul rek moo ko war a def wala ku amul rek moo ko war a def soo demee Sénégal ministre yi ñu ngi am ay gétt professeur yi ñu ngi am ay gétt nag ay gétt xar loolu dafa nekk ne mbay la agriculture la ku am moo ko mun a def parce que yow mun ngaa jënd ñaari téeméeri kar ñeenti téeméeri kar nga jàppa ñaari nit di leen fay par mois ñoom ñu koy toppatoo nga am sa docteur bu koy piqûre every month di dem di ko saytu soo yow bokkuloo ak ki nga xam ne man Moussa Ndiaye mi nga xam ne man juróomi xar dong laa mun a yar soo moo tax il faut ñun tam jàngkat yi borom alal yi baykat yi il faut ñu ne yëpp ñu kiir dugg ci affaire sàmm ñu xam ne tey man de tey si li ma gis Mali ak Mauritanie ak fii lu ko gën a nekk li fi mecc gisuma ko.
waaw waaye oncle ma bëgg a xam yan jafe-jafe la sàmmkat yi day jànkuwanteel xam nga soo toogee ne lii nit ñi dugguñ si xëj na dafa am yenn jafe-jafe yu ndaw yu fa xaw a nekk yoo xam ne bu ko suma maas gi xoolee dinañ ne lii suma si duggee du dem de soo yan jafe-jafe ngeen di jànkuwanteel because moom wax na fi about political will nekk lu important mooy ne government dugal seen loxo ministre bi toog ak yéen ngeen waxtaan political will bu war a jóge si government bi soo am na yoo leen naa wax gaay pour ñu saafaraal soo yooyu mooy yan
waaw li nga xam ne rek ñun lu ñu wax pour ñu saafaral mooy ñu fekke parce que léegi àll bi amatul ñax bu baax
waaw
àll bi léegi amatul ko léegi du fii rek la loolu la sobriquet bi rek la léegi climate change moo ko def léegi il faut nguur gi taxaw ñu mun a am ripaas bu doy te mu yomba nga xam ne parce que loolu bokk na ci li ñu gën a sonal tey soo fi amee jur tey doo am loo leen jox saaku ripaas tey $1,600 saaku ngooñ $800 xam nga loolu bele bu gën a yomba tey $1,100 bi nga xam ne ñu ngi ko doon jëndee $400 so loolu bu amee loolu beneen jafe-jafe la boo xam ne day tax nit ki doo mun a dugg ci affaire sàmm lekka bi parce que doo ko attan waaw beneen bi ci tegu mooy affaire feebar bi dafa bari ci jur gi trop boobu itam beneen coono la boo xam ne ñun sàmmkat yi ak baykat ñu ngi koy jànkonte parce que da nga bu demee ba nawet jóg la xar yi dañ dee feebar di dee su fekkee léeg-léeg vétérinaire amut wala garab amut wala garab tam seer na seeraay boo xam ne pour nga mun ko jënd dafa jafe loolu tam beneen challenge ba xam ne ñu bëri loolu moo tax ñu ngay dellu gannaaw loolu tam am na ci
soo léegi lan ngeen di oo gouvernement bi pour ñu def da ngeen bëgg ñu jox leen ay xëj na ay grants mooy xaalis boo xam ne xëj na doo leen ko fayaat wala ay loan leble yoo xam ne suñ leen ko lebalee ngeen def li ngeen di def boo leen paree delloo ko because yow looy wax nii yëpp xaalis moo ko mën a saafaraal waaw man power bank te man power bi tam pour nga am ko xaalis a koy joxe dépense pour ñu mun a am kooku doon soo lan ngeen foog loo xam ne soo leen si duggee dina mun a sustainable because sometimes tem nga may fi nit xaalis jox ko grant xam nga du ko def lu mu ko war a def loolu tamit gis nañ ko fi daf dëkk yi sax sometimes suñ leen joxee grant boo xam ne fayuñ ko so duñ ko teg si yoon soo loolu yëpp tamit war na moo nekk si lu ñooy seet bu baax soo lan nga foog si loolu
ok loolu xam nga xaalisam soo koy jox ñun lu gën a bari suñ ko fi ñu ngay góorgóorlu waaye lu gën a bari bu projet wala xaalis ñëwee lu gën a bari dañ ko dee politiser
dañ ko dee politicize mooy ni ñu dugal si politique
waaw parce que dañ ko dee jox ñi nga xam ne ñooñu loolu du seen area soo ko joxee ko xam ne area am kooku daf ko yàq
ok
loolu moo ma
remind dafa musa am loolu mus na moo am
non loolu remind na ma sax am na jigéen bu fi ñëwoon the other time the lady that you sent here waaw mu ne bu nekkee ne tey gaay oo ne ñi nga xam ne ñoo war a amee wàllum animal yu sew yi nga toon nga gis fa ki nga xam ne kooku xamut affaire animal sax at some point xanaa da ngeen dee jànkuwante lu mel noonu
waaw dañ dee jànkuwante parce que même sumé rumina projet bi sax bu ñëw wax ni am na ñi nga xam ne ñu dem jël loon ñooy mosu ñu yor jur kooku balaa muy xam naka la ñu yore jur foos xaalis bi nga ko jox boobu dafay jeex parce que xamul ci dara mu ngi soog a jënd mu ngi ci soog a dugg kooku xar bi ban façon xar laa war a jënd ak ban façon lekk laa ko war a jox ak naka laa ko war a piquer ak naka laa ko toppatoo kooku mënu si dugg léegi balaa mu ci dugg foos xaalis boobu dafay jeex
waaw man am na li nga wax lu jël suma attention boobu suma rominant bi la xëj na di nga ne committee buñ set up ñi nga xam ne ñoo war a joxe xaalis bi foofu la problème bi nekk waaye man da nga ne dañ ko dee politicize man boobu xaw a jël suma attention ndax loolu mus naa xew because ndax si current government bii la government bu tegu nii bu nguuri Adama Barrow bi la
non xam nga nguuri Adama Barrow moom yàggut
waaw
dëgg la benn projet lañ fa mos a gis mooy bii lañ ci séntu
suma rominant
bii rek lañ ci gis boobu moom yàggagut waaye government yu passé lu gën a bari suñ ne projet ñëw na soo demee gars yi dañ ko dee politiser soo demee ñu ngi koy jox
ñu ngi ko war waaye ndax nguuri Adama Barrow gis nga fa loolu
non gisaguma ko waaye nag dama leen koy pour ñu bàyyi ci xel pour ñu bàyyi ci xel ci loolu
ok xam nga foog ñu leeral su ko defee balaa ñu laa miscode ne la yaa fi waxoon ne nguuri Adama Barrow de lii la ñoo def de
parce que nguur yi passé yëpp commencé naa xammee ko depuis nguuri Jawara nguur yaa Jammeh fekke na fii la ma fekke gis naa agriculture gis naa lu bari lu indi dañu gis naa ñu jënd ay jur jox ko ay jigéen ñoo xam ne duñ ko mën a toppatoo bu end of the day ñu ne yëpp dee na yàqu na waaye projet lu ci gën a baax bu ñëwee nañ seet ñi nga xam ne ñoo ci nekk
ñu teg ko seen loxo
ñi nga xam ne ñoo ko jiite ñu ne ñun de projet bi ñëw na waaye ñun gouvernement bi lii ak lii lañ ci soxla dañ bëgg a ñu jógee ko fii dem ba fii soo yéen léegi lan mooy seen xalaat ak ñan ngeen yaakaar ne ñii suñu leen ko joxee mun nañu jox lii
man so waruta nekk ëppul ñi apply jël ko
ku nekk rek ëpp la jël
waaw
waruta nekk loolu
waaw ok
thank you jërëjëf Ibrahima finally what do you have to tell the general public before we say bye?
Thank you very much. To just start from where Alaji Musa was talking about, when we talk about project coming into this country, I think there is a need of change of attitude.
Attitude, right?
At the side of the farmers, and also at the side of the government or the implementing partners. If you look at the number of projects that came into this country, just within these 2 years, if you look at it into dollars, it's a lot of millions of dollars in this country. But we, the livestock owners, I think the small ruminant is the first of its kind, where we have only that project assigned for livestock. So meaning livestock was left behind for many years ago. During Jammeh time, you know, when Barrow also came, things start to come. And then we are happy now we got this this small ruminant. But even it's $1 million, there's a need of change of attitude from the side of the farmers and the government, the people that are implementing. There are people who are doing a lot of work to make sure that Gambians have what they required to have when it comes to livestock. So the department, the agency, or any other person, the implementing partner need to understand those people and then identify them, right, and then give them the project and then monitor them again.
Yes, my question in that, I know it's already time. What I want to know is, you know, sometimes when these projects come in, they do consultations or they do researches. So when the project came, did they do any form of consultation with individuals like you who are at the grassroots level to actually ascertain where the problem is and what changes need to be done?
When it comes to small ruminants, the national livestock owners, we are implementing partners. We are from there project. Since day one, we are there.
So why are you allowing, according to him, there are loans that are given to individuals who are not even eligible or are not the individuals who should get it as an implementing partner? Did you raise a red flag?
No. We are all implementing partners. But here, he is talking maybe perhaps at this area when you talk about the dealers, because the dealers have a package.
Under the same project.
Under the same project, the dealers have a package, the production have a package, and then even the processing, they have a package. Okay, there may be one or two, but it doesn't mean I don't give out loans.
You're not part of the body.
Good. I'm just at the steering committee where people sit down and decide. But then now it's the supersonic and GTU. And they also take those documents from the Department of Livestock Services. I'm not at that examination center. I'm not also trying to scrutinize them. But all that we are trying to talk about, the small ruminant is our life. And we hope it can able to change our life, both of us as a country. And then we are appealing to the beneficiary to make sure that they take this project very seriously. Because we cannot continue going to Senegal buying things like that. If Senegal also close their border, where are we going to get our animal? When we are always getting 20% of what is required from the Gambia. So the other 80% have to come from outside. So meaning there's a lot of effort to be done on the side of government.
So thank you so much, Mr. Jallo, for joining us on the program. Interesting one. So man nagdama ñoo ngeen may ma xar. Team this morning, Ibrahima, dañoo dem ñu may ñu xar.
No problem.
War na
ñu may ñu xar wala ñu jox ñu benn nag sañu séedoo.
War na de.
ñu séedoo nag bi war na ñoo am nag séedoo ko.
Si pare dañuy ñëw.
mais si team this morning ñëpp séedoo ñëpp am. Dinañ ñëw.
Thank you very much.
jërëjëf waay jërëjëf. Yeah, so dafa mel ni fu mu nekk nii am nañ anti hadi si line bi pour moom tam mu wax ñu lana nekk di xew si biti. Wow, so we can go for a short break. We will just go for a short break now, and when we come back, the program continues. Do stay tuned.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324-4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Assalamu alaikum. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. Fum nekka nii nag ma am fi suma soppe anti Hadi Ñang suma soppe bu mag laa wax nag mu ngi si biti pour ñëw wax ñu lana nekk si biti tey Tobaski preparation si marché Banjul bi dugga ak génn bi buuxante bi te buuxante bi sa ñu ne sa marché Albert Market woykat ba naka la tuddoon buuxante bi xaw ma naka marché Albert Market something munu ma remember naka la maybe anti Hadi moom nu ko dimbale moom mu dimbale ma naka la anti Hadi anti Hadi yaa ma dégg
Albert Market Banjul
waa Albert Market am na woy buñ doon wax buuxante bi xaw ma naka fana Uncle Musa Ngom ma ko woyoon xaw ma
waaw Musa Afiya Ngom ma ko woy
waaw Uncle Musa Afiya Ngom mu ne sa marché Albert Market xaw ma naka
waaw buuxante ba ca Banjul kon
waaw wax ñu nekk di xew fu
ñu nekk si plateforme bi
right
foofu
now
waaw jamono bi may wax yow nag buuxante boobu amut fii ren buuxante amu fii wanteer bi tam jaxagut comme na mu daan jaxee gis ngeen ni mu MT gis ngeen rek yéen a gis place bi daaw waxtu wi wala daaw jéeg waxtu wi marché bi jaxoon na façon nit bu ne gis nga ko façon mbaar bu ne gis nga ko bagage na mu ngi ne mbat ci dëkk bi waaye man gisuma nit ñi xaw ma nag xaalis fa amut xaw ma nu mu demee noonu ñu def dara lu du dañu dugg fii xanaa buñ duggee fii dinañ fi gis dara bu ko defee ñu mun a wax ak ñoom ña fa nekk laaj leen nan la ñu waajale seen julli ak nu ñu préparé seen tabaski ci biir marché Banjul la ñu nekk jamono ji waaye di fàttali askan wi ni ñu ngi ci biir tabaski ji te liy des pour ñu julli bareetul te jamono ji ñuy wax ak yéen ñëpp a ngi waajal seen bopp ndax sañ se dafa bokk ci tabaski ji looloo waral nag dañu ñëw dugg fii kan lañ fiy fekk asalaamaaleykum na ngeen def ma yéen a ngi am jàmm fii de xaw naa jax noo def waa lii lu mu doon tamit lii lan la ni
bi mooy latest one bi latest style bi poète bi
waaye ñun dañu gis leen wanteer bi joxul comme na mu daan jaxe
non Tobaski nii la dee mel de
Tobaski nii la dee mel all the time
di dafa gën a wos nag
lu ko waral
man dama xamul sax ma xaalis amut xaw ma nu mu demee
dama yaakaar na xaalis amu ci réew mi
moo tax prix yëpp lañ wàññi sax
da ngeen wàññi til bi
yëpp lañ wàññi
lemal jox ma ñaata laay fay
mi tax 1.5 la rek
loolu yomb na nee na sëñ bi
aleykum salaam
yaa ngi am jàmm
ñi sant yàlla
sunu school boy baa ngi nii
maa ngi nii nama naa leen bu baax a baax
ñoo la raw lu bëree bëri
naka ngeen def
ñëw seet si leen baa
waa gis nga ko seet si ñu gis nga Tobaski bi nu mu wéetee
wéet na
xaalis amul xaalis amul de war ngeen a seetaat de
yéen oore ngeen piis yu ngeen war a musa oore ci àdduna
waaw yu dàqa yu te dara ñëwut kilaat yi ñëw xaalis amut xaalis moo war a am dañu war a gars yi war a lijjanti xaalis bi génna wala Adama Barrow mu génnee xaalis bi moo yore xaalis bi di gis loo ko xaalis baa ngi si Adama Barrow na génnee xaalis bi c'est war Adama Barrow na génnee xaalis bi waaw gis nga ko
waaw bu ko defee da jeena ba li may waxee yéen gis ngeen tey ñu ngi nii si biir marché Banjul marché bi jaxut na mu daan jaxee ku fàttali ku Banjul démb ba wax dëgg yàlla Tabaski da daan jax nit ñi bëri wante bi di dox nu mu daan doxee waaye ren wax dëgg yàlla fépp fu ñu dem daal nii rek lay demee
waaw waaye Anta Hadi moom mu ngi wax ne na Adama Barrow génnee xaalis bi mbaa xaalis bi Adama Barrow ko téye
moo ma si jaaxal nag ndax Adama Barrow ko yore moo ma si jaaxal de
nañu wax na spokesperson génn wax ñu kon ñu
xam naa bu dee moo ko yore war na koo génnee de
waaw nañu si may
waaw
Anta dangaa génn si biti dangaa génnaat si biti wax ak ñeneen ndax waaw doxantul ndanka rek
waaw
yow daagoo rek
waaw jéena ma am nga xar rek
kan man ba oru barde laa ko def balde mu ne daf dee xaar ba suñu ne ëllëg la mu identify benn ëllëg si mu jënd ko xaar xam nga maa fi toogoon di wax ay waxi xar soo xar yaa ngi ñëw de
jënd xar ma yàlla ma benn poche
xar yaa ngi ñëw
waaw parce que man fooguma dinaa am ren
Tobaski bi
yow yaay Anti Hadi Ñang
ma ne Tobaski bi de téeméeri yomba si benn tubéy
waaw si benn butéel téeméeri
yomba ci benn tubéy dina tàngale bal Banjul ñu ngi nii ci biir marché Banjul bi waaye gis nga daan na jax nii daan na gën a jax nii waaye gis ngeen ren tabaski bariwul nit ñi génnuñu te xam naa li des ci tabaski bi ay ñeenti fan ci lay toll waaye daal gisaguma nit ñi man wax dëgg yàlla du ma def dara lu dul waaye ko mu ngi nii waaye namm naa kii waaye non def yaa ngi jàmm
ci loolu
yaa ngi waajal tabaski
maa ngi waajal tabaski gi
nga ut si marché
waaw dama ñëwoon marché rek xool si waa marché bi rek
waaw
macha allah xool
waaw ana tama gi yow foo ko bàyyi
tama gi maa ngi ko bàyyi kër ga
yow ñëwoo ci wantir bi indi tama yow
noonu def xarijatu mais xam naa ne insha allah rabbi suba moom fu ma jaar tamit
yow da ngaa war a bokk tama gi dugg ci marché bi
bokk ko yëngal ko ne ko réel ba ñëpp yëg ko ndax macha allah sa xarijatu yaa ngi yaa yëngal réew mi toj na macha allah nga sa doomu ndey dara yombul sama jigéen sama xarit yàgg baax yàgg gore yàlla si jàmm yàgg kontaan naa
amiin ñoo far
ba ci kanam
ñoo far salaamaaleykum sëñ bi na nga def yaa yem jàmm
waaw maa ngi sant ba jibi
jibi dañu gis ne ren wanteer bi demewul nu mu daan demee lan nga yaakaar ne moo ko waral
wanteer ren moom demewul nu mu daan demee ñu sant yàlla rek
yéen a ngi am njarte
waaw ñu ngi am njarte waaw mais ndànk gaawul moom waaw mais mu ngi dox ndànk
ñaata at yaa ngi ñëw fii ci wanteer bi
man ñaari at rek waaw ñaari at
ren nan la demee ak at yi passé
non at yi passé moom ñoo gën a neexagum ren moom waaw ren moom
daal doxagul
waaw non doxagul moom waaye ñu ngi sant moom mën naa dox
yàlla baax na te yaa ngi jaay yu rafet de waaw lii jekk na de jéena ba Sonko lii boo ko tabaskee am lu bari de
Anti Hadi
lii dama ko jox sama reporter bi waaw suma jéena ba Sonko
Anti Hadi ma ne laajal ma ko lu tax boo baag bi ndax dafa bëri xaalis
waaw gis nga jéena ba
ma ne dafa boo baagam bi
gisil la ko
dafa boo baagam bi
waaw nga tabaskee ko asalaamaaleykum.
waaw.
sëñ bi si wanteer bi laa ñëw noo def.
dafa mel ni waaw time bi jàmm nañu.
wanteer bi yéen si wanteer bi tey looy wanteer.
gis nga ko yére yaa ngi nii am na waaw.
ay wanteer baa ngi dox.
ñu ngi góorgóor ñu ngi sant yàlla bu baax a baax.
li ñaa ngi jënd.
waaw alhamdulilah ñu ngi laal tuuti.
waaw kontaan nañ ci yow.
ñoo gën a kontaan
la tabaski ak jàmm.
amiin incha allah ñu bokk.
kon jéem ba mel na ni tey lii lañ leen indiloon ci biir Banjul waaw mel na ni waaw gis ngeen wanteer bi ni mu doxee xam naa ëllëg dinañ dem feneen ak leneen pour indil ko réew mi rek ndax lu leen bégloo rek ci loolu la ñuy dox maa ngi leen di wax bye bye.
love you.
Thank you.
So welcome back. So now we'll just go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll head right on to our click segment. We'll be joined by Skegman Sweezy to tell us all about it happening in the world of entertainment. We'll be right back.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
to build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
Light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With the touch of your fingers,
with ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
All right, from Sarakunda, Banjul, Albert Market, from Banjul now to the studio right here in Kariba Avenue with Skegman Sweezy.
And
from
the studio, we're going to Nigeria today.
Plain shot, lan.
You told me not to wear designer stuff. Exactly.
So more than a change.
She was saying I'm rich. You see? No, I respect her decision. Obviously, you know, she's always been giving me good advice. So thumbs up for that, man. Yeah. Good morning, guys. I'm Skegman Sweezy, and this is the click that comes your way from Monday to Thursday. My guest in the studio today is all the way from Nigeria, and he is here on a mission, an ECOWAS mission rather. He's a soldier. Welcome, Freeborn Caesar. Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you very much, brother. Respect.
It's a pleasure, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So, first time on the platform, first time in the Gambia. You're not only here as an artist, but you're here as a soldier as well, working with the ECOWAS. So tell us a bit about you. Let the Gambian people get to know you.
Yes, my name is Freeborn Caesar, an economic soldier, Nigerian Navy Special Forces. I'm from Nigeria as well.
So what got you into music?
Everything from childhood, God, inspirations. I grew up as in having this habit of always stepping in good rhythms. When I listen to good rhythms, I found out that I always have something to say about rhythm.
Yeah.
I started as a music critic, always criticizing, listening to music, how someone's supposed to step upon a rhythms and how it's supposed to sound like.
Exactly.
As a child.
Yeah.
So I grew up listening to people like Bob Marley, Lucky Dube, and the rest, Fela of Nigeria, I know him very well.
Yeah.
So those inspirations gave me the motivations to start doing music.
Yeah. So music is something that's really jealous, if I could say. Music, it doesn't like you mixing it with something else that takes a lot of time and your attention as well. And people like you that work as an economic soldier, and then you still have time again to make music. Actually, how do you cope with the music and the work that you do?
My leisure times. It's not easy. It's not easy, but something that you're gifted on it, and it comes like a problem to you whenever you don't do it. You understand? So I don't sabotage my military time for music. If I'm on duty, I'll be on duty. Just like if I'm on duty and this particular program is fixed for me to be here, I'll tell you, hey, bro, I'm no chance. But the little leisure time I have, just like everybody have, everybody, all work without play make Jack a double, right?
Exactly.
Yes,
yeah.
You finish your watch, you finish your duty, and they'll tell you, hey, bro, you need some time to relax. You need 4-8 hours to relax. Some people may take it to the bar, but I always use my time to do music.
Yeah, so far, I know you've been in Gambia just for 2 months, and I know you really, your work is really taking a lot of your time as well. But have you been having the time to make music in the Gambia as well?
Yes, last week I had a feature with someone, one of the Gambian upcoming artists like that, Top Striker.
I know him actually. He's doing good as well.
So I was free after my own duty, so just to go know the studios, we have the opportunity to do 1 or 2. That is the only time I've got for music since I came here.
Yeah. So let's say in a quick way, how would you say the Gambian music is evolving, the industry is evolving actually? Because I know you don't know much about our industry, but you've been here for 2 months. I know you've been to some shows as well. You've seen how Gambian artists perform, how they do their music and stuff like that. So what would you say how the Gambian music is like?
It's secular. Global music. They do global music and they do the cultural music. I listen to some of their... back there in Nigeria, I do listen to this guy called ST.
Yeah, Big World.
Yes. Music is all about rhythms and how you interpret. It doesn't really matter if you can hear someone's language or not, but if you listen to a good rhythms, you always love music.
Exactly, you're right.
So Gambian kind of music is global.
Yeah.
The consciousness, that is the reggae part of it, they do more. The cultural part of it is just like the African culture, which everybody does in Africa.
You're right.
So Gambian music is a cycle, and the artists, majority of them I've met, the few I've met, they are very good.
Okay, so we're going...
So Bobo, before you go for the break, you know, it's soldier meets music.
Exactly.
You know, interesting combination. I'm still trying to digest
Figure it out, exactly.
Yeah.
I know it's not
so
really easy.
my question is, sometimes you sit and say to yourself, at some point in my life, I'll do music full time. We know individuals who have had other jobs, and then because of the passion that they have for music, they get to leave that aside. Do you plan to do that? Do you feel you're that good to actually leave that job with ECOWAS to only do music? That's my question.
Yes, I'm a Grammy artist. If you listen to
if
you listen to yes, I give that to myself, because if you listen to my album Bad Human Guso, you know that I'm not playing. There's something there.
Grammy award.
Grammy, yes.
He said he's a Grammy artist.
I'm looking forward to to win Grammy.
Since last week till now, we had 2 Navy people in the studio.
Yeah.
Because last week we have HB, who is currently in the Gambia.
Yeah.
He's a Nigerian as well, and then you're here today as well. So really, I can see the level of maturity with Nigerian artists actually. They always make sure they have something to hold on to and still do what they want to do as well, which is really good. So let's take a quick music break and then we'll be right back. Let's watch this by Freeborn Caesar. We'll be right back.
Famous sounds. nwata nwanyi ndo bịa ka ngotere gị posh n'udo ọkwa maka nnukwu agato why going crazy now let me tell you something nice and smooth with me you gonna be alright just like I smoke cannabis your presence makes me I'm the big papa boss dada boss stepper bad man go soldier real money spender good lover caretaker right master man with the energy move body make a knock you do sweet you for the bed tonight play hard till morning anytime you come around you dey make me want crazy your beauty dey sharp make me to concentrate
Hey man, that's Freeborn Caesar, man.
I'm surprised to know. I mean, this guy is a soldier.
He's a soldier.
Are you a soldier for real?
Are you a soldier?
Of course he is, man. He is. To be honest, man. You know, Nigerian people keep surprising me all the time.
I'm surprised.
To be honest, man. A quick one.
He's so
yeah, we're really running out of time. But a quick one. Let's talk about this music video and the song. What inspired the video and the song?
It's just a love song.
Okay. And what's your rank though?
My corporate equivalent. We call it in Navy is AB.
AB.
Okay, yeah, but nice. Corporate equivalent in the general equivalent. Yeah.
Respect, salute. So a quick one. Let's talk about the video and the song.
Yeah, it's a love music. It's a song majority of music songs I do consciousness.
Yeah.
But one at a time we have feelings as human beings. Yeah. People we fall in love. So sometimes we have to pray something that will touch people, you understand?
Exactly.
So the inspiration is just all about love.
No, you don't fall in love.
Beautiful girl, yeah?
I did not say I fall in love, but you know, people fall in love differently.
No,
don't go there, I beg. I'll speak, let me change my tone, Seth. He's a Nigerian, I beg, please. Get out of here.
So before we take a leave of you, man, I have obviously there's a culture on this platform. Anybody that comes on the show, we have a freestyle. So before we take a leave of you, I want you to do something for us on this show, actually, for the Gambian people. So we're going with the beat, and when we're back, man, trust it, man, we're about to have a dope freestyle by Freeborn Caesar here, man. So let me have my beat. Let's do my thing in the studio, man.
Tracks today.
Oi.
Freeborn Caesar.
Really, but. What? Turn me on and then look. Why got the vibe, they swag, them no. If you the feeling my jam, you gon' know, say na Ninja boy, yeah. Hey, bad man goose. If you feel the bedu, move it on, they know they leave it on. Hey, baby, you shake your body with it on. Hey, the way she the knock reel it on. Hey, rock your booty like glue it on. Hey, move it. All of them I know that boy going crazy, cause pretty ladies standing. They know boy got the vibe, I know they stop with the body. Oh yeah, sweet, dancing, good and low. Hey, whining, baby whining, good and low. Them, you gotta treasure them. Pretty lady from the Gambia, them. Hey, know we the boss of my dada, then you don't know me. Rock them, Caesar, you gon' mentor. Or if you dey shake it better, they know that boy got feeling for the later. Hey, feeling the vibe, I know. Bad man a go so, can make you drive it, make you go slow. Me I